and welcome. I'm some random guy on the internet, and today I'm back in Minecraft with another one of my builds for showcase. It is a fantasy airship that takes some inspiration from a few different sources. One being actually the Silent Mary from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, in the way these kind of little towers sit on the front and back. And then for the actual design, it kind of takes a little bit of Japanese Chinese architecture, along with actually like gold mining dredges, and also a bit of ship design there. The kind of dredge style kind of like arm with all these kind of ropes and things that hold it all together. And it being a fantasy airship, it doesn't use like a balloon or anything. It has these kind of large crystals that help keep the whole thing afloat. I've got this kind of crossbow at the very top that it uses for defense. That'd be the bridge. There's kind of a cabin there and some internal cabins in there. At the very front, I wanted this, had this image of like this ship, from below, as it kind of comes over you like a large eagle or a hawk swooping down upon you. And I actually went and had to redesign this like 2 or 3 different times because I just wasn't happy with it. Originally, I had kind of like a design that I used of like an eagle that didn't quite look good, and then because I kind of had like this, Japanese Chinese architecture, I tried a giant like swan, but it looked big and awkward because I was using the marble blocks or quartz blocks, and it didn't look quite right. But then on the most recent one, I came up with this, and I'm very, very pleased with how it turned out. And then kind of another thing I tried to do with the architecture is I have like these structural supports. So like that beam goes all the way through the ship. This beam here kind of goes all the way through. Those ones support multiple floors. All in all, it's got a very fantasy vibe that I really like how it turned out. I guess we'll start up here at the front. So I've got this giant crystal using stained glass and the lapis blocks. All these little towers are supposed to be like archer positions where like I think they're called parapets. Got like arrow slits in them. So you got, up there, and you can have another guy you can kind of lean out. Little bridge at the very front. All the birch fencing is supposed to be like rope, so kind of acting as again support. All these structures are helping to kind of structurally stabilize the whole thing. We've got this bridge that goes across here to the back of the boat. Here is like kind of the ammo storage, using the little light rods there as kind of like the bolts, like magical bolts for the crossbow up top. And this area is kind of like guarded. It's got this inner protective barrier, and then the balcony that kind of wraps around it. Ship's bell. Up top is just kind of just a platform area with access to the little back pagoda towers. Only the middle one has the second floor on it. And then just hollow. Next level is the bridge, where you've got another, like a smaller crystal that you would use to manipulate the other 3, help move the ship through the air. You got like little bridge wings, so you can kind of like see what you're pulling up, docking onto. And then at the very top is obviously the crossbow, or yeah, crossbow. Kind of using a piston there to give a little bit more detail. And the bow itself has actually got like a sight, so you can see what you're aiming at. And then, yeah, back up at the front, you can actually kind of coming down, access into the front, and then access into the back, and then obviously it wraps up around into the ammo storage. But we'll do the front of the ship first. It's coming down in here. It's kind of an open area with these kind of two like drop-down doors on the side of the ship. Down here is kind of crew quarters / storage. So we got chests, barrels, used the railing to act as like tie downs for the barrels. And then to give a little more detail, instead of just beds stacked next to each other, I've got the scaffolding blocks acting as supports for the beds. So that's down there. Back this way, got like a cooking area, some more storage, and access to the back two crystals, which support the bulk of the tower structure in the back. And then in the back, so this is kind of a captain's cabin. So over here we have kind of just a little working area, various things that would be needed to repair the ship, and the actual captain's cabin. It's got a book and a bed, and here's kind of an office. I'm not sure what those blocks are. Dorite. It's got Dorite, Dragon Head, fantasy theme, and then map table. Fairly simple. But yeah, the actual shape, one of those rare instances where I just kind of let my mind wander. So it's, if you look at it from the top, so it's got kind of this, bows out at the front, bows out at the back. It's like an hourglass shape, but then the front itself kind of, bulbs out, and then that tapers down. And then actually one last little thing which I'm sure you noticed, that the lights on the back of the wings kind of light up the bow of the ship for when it's kind of moving in the night. Nice little detail. Oop. Look at me, I can type. There we go. So yeah, that is my fantasy airship. It's just a very odd build with a lot of just these little details with how things kind of line up and sit. Just a lot of tiers and layers. Used as many different types of the woods as I could, just to get as much variation. And I think it turned out well. There we go. So that was my fantasy airship. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you, yes you, in the next one. Peace.